Well, out here in the garage, and it looks like they did what I used to do when I was a kid. I have wasted some lacquer thinner on this thing, and apparently, like I said, they did what I did when I was a kid. When an old lacquer finish or something would get dull in places, they'd take a bit of varnish and put over top of it. As I have used lacquer on this 3 times, and all it has done is gotten gummy and cruddy looking and everything else up here. Now I'm just going to try to use it on the top here. Hopefully the bottom down here won't need it. These speaker grill guards here, I'm hoping they're not coated with it. They don't seem to be, but you never can tell until you go to try to strip them down. But we'll apply some of this, and I'm just going to pour it on, then brush it out with a brush. And I've got some of this old citrus strip stuff here. Buzz has the spray kind, but now I don't have any spray citrus stripper. I have just the old kind you brush on here, but I take and just pour out a little bit and start brushing it around, and we'll see how she does. Don't have to be real even with it or anything, just get it on there good. We'll go back with a scraper here in a bit after it has time to do its job for a while. And we'll see how she does. One thing about it, you don't have to worry about the fumes. It just smells like oranges. Go a little bit down in the corners here. I want to pour just a little bit more up on the top up here, just so I can take and use the top here kind of as a place to dip the brush in. We'll get all this cleaned up before we try to do anything with that missing veneer. There's not much veneer missing, but there's enough. But I don't like it. Now you don't have to put this stuff on really thick. I've used it in the past and it's worked pretty good for me before. Still waiting for my schematic to come in and some desoldering wick before I start on the chassis doing much of anything on it. That old mess on there the way they soldered it up, it looks like they just slot that solder on with a trowel. It's so thick on there. I'll put this down in the kerosene. Put the lid back on here. We'll wait for a while and see how she looks. Well, I'm having kind of mixed results with the citrus strip. It's getting gummy as I don't know what, so I guess it's kindly doing the job. It's stripping some of the stuff down, but it sure don't come off very easily. I've scraped it down up on the top side. It's come off a lot better up here, but in some places it's supposed to be active for 24 hours if you let it, but you can start scraping after 30 minutes. I started scraping after 30 minutes and it was already so dry, it was just gummy in a lot of spots and stuff like that. I'm kind of disappointed in that stuff. I guess I'll get me a 3M Scotch-Brite pad or something like that and come out tomorrow and put some more on it and see if I can't get it to scrape off. Now, as far as this tube tester goes, I've tested a whole lot of tubes on it now, and just about I've only found one good tube. Of course, like I say, I mean, his nephew left that radio turned on. He said it could have been on for weeks, it could have been on for months, he didn't know. But every tube I have tested, I've only found one good one. Some of them, the filaments won't even light up on them Lacquer tubes, and the meter won't even move when I hit a button on it. The shorts light, you can flip it all around and it acts like there's nothing in there. I know the socket works because I did get a one Lacquer tube that tested very weak, but none of the other Lacquer tubes that I tried in it did a damn thing. Right now I've got an octal tube in there. No, it's a Lacquer tube in there too. That might be the one that showed it had a little bit. Here, let me turn this back on. Now, let me see. The 0. That's a 7Z4 tube that's in there now. And you have it 0307 is plate number 2 on it, and 0607 is plate number 1. And so you press P3 on here, and I did, and it's showing barely in the good category. Now if I take this up to 06 and then press P3, it's over in the replace on it. But now, so I know this thing works over here, but like I say, almost every tube I've tested, that this little metal tube down here, it's diode tube is what it is. It said it just got 2 diodes in it. It was completely dead. One of those tubes tested very weak. The other one was completely dead. Those are both, I think, 7H7. The mixer oscillator tube, the 7F8, it was completely dead. The rectifier tube was completely dead. I mean, it's just not much you can say about that. All right, well, we'll come out and try a little bit more tomorrow, man. This is Gary, signing off.